Hi everyone! Thank you so much for being here today. With this one, guys, I was realizing I was adding some things to my Sephora cart, and a lot of them were prompted by like, oh, I saw this person use this over there and this person use that. Just, you know, on social media and stuff. And I was just kind of left with this feeling that I also needed to try those things. And then as I'm looking through what I have and I'm looking over the total, I'm like, you know, I took some of my own advice that I give to my kids when they're asking for a new toy, and I say, look at what you already have. Yeah. So this is not a dupes video. You can't dupe something, in my opinion. You definitely can't dupe something that you don't own because you have really no specific insight on that product outside of the descriptions you're reading on a website or the takes on it that you've heard from other people. But I just thought, what if I did a full face of like working with what I have and just kind of coming up with some alternatives based on the way these products are described or the way they look, you know? Maybe you're gonna like this video, maybe you won't, I don't know. But I'm getting my Sephora cart open here and I'm looking at what I have. And one of the first things is this Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. I've seen it applied several different times and I thought, wow, it looks really pretty. I liked how it appeared to soften the skin. It didn't look overly dewy, but it definitely added some coverage. They call it a weightless liquid foundation that delivers buildable medium coverage with a light diffusing effect for up to 16 hours. And also I'm just thinking about the sheer amount of foundations I own. I thought I've got to have something that's kind of in line with that look, right? And then another thing, I'll just talk about the concealer I was eyeing as well. The new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin medium to full coverage radiant concealer with hyaluronic acid. I mean, hyaluronic acid is the big buzzword. It's the big ingredient that's in a lot of things these days. They call it a creamy skin-like medium to full coverage concealer, visibly conceals, brightens, and lifts eyes and face. It's got the hyaluronic acid, it's got niacinamide, and it's got golden vitamin C, they say. So in looking at what I have, I kind of came back to something that was just oh so hot like a few months ago, you know, and it was all the Kosas Revealer stuff, right? Got the skin improving foundation, we've got the concealer as well, hyaluronic acid is in these products. It was kind of like the stuff everyone was raving about, and then absolutely is no surprise to me, time marches on and people find new things to need, right? But I thought, you know, I love these and I could dive back into them and get a look that I really enjoy and sort of satisfy myself and maybe not feel the need to buy the latest thing. So I wear the Revealer foundation in the shade Light Plus Cool 180. I've always felt like this was a good little goes a long way foundation. A full pump is sometimes feeling like too much on my skin, so I'll do most of a pump, okay? And then I'm just gonna dab it around. I've got my skincare and my sunscreen on. I didn't really use a specific primer today. But this always makes my skin look healthy, more even, a little bit radiant, but you know, like not over the top. And the sponge I'm using is my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, which I feel is the closest drugstore thing to the texture of a beauty blender. I specifically say texture because it's obviously not the same shape as a beauty blender. But look what that does, just a small amount to the surface of my skin. I actually might add a little bit more, kind of around the nose. I've had some extra redness from just all the nasal stuff I've been going through the last little bit here. Teeny bit more there. But I don't want to waste what's on my fingers. Okay, we'll do a little more here too. But what do you guys think about this? Just really on purpose. The next time you've got a cart full of products, just really making a deliberate effort to replace those things in your mind with what you've already got and kind of remember how much you enjoy what you have. There's a reason why you love those products, you know? Because we're getting at the time of year where, personally, I'm going to be buying a lot of the holiday sets because that's like a big part of my content. I really enjoy doing those reviews during the fall, you know, and leading into the holidays. And do I get some things sent in PR? Yeah, but I mean, I buy a lot of the stuff that I review. So if I can sidestep the $33 concealer and the $58 foundation, you know, I'd be doing pretty good, right? So there's that beautiful Kosas Revealer foundation all blended in. I love it so much. It's a strong medium coverage. It really looks so skin-like and it wears really well on me too. And then I have the concealer as well. I wear it in 2.5, I think that says 2.5C, and I've used a lot of this over time. Really enjoy this also. I'm going to get some around my eyes. You know, it's got the hyaluronic acid, a little zit action down there, and we're good to go. Okay, so I'm just dabbing over this with my sponge. Immediate coverage. Like, look at that. I think one of the best things about the Revealer line is how skin-like it all looks. And maybe for you, like maybe you have something different on hand. You don't have this, but you have some other product. And it's just kind of like appreciate what you have. Try to find some kind of alternative. Not that you're going to 100% dupe the thing you wanted, but mentally it's going to make you feel cool with not having it. That's more the point here. So I'm using my little end of my e.l.f. Duo Complexion brush just to get around the nose. Surface of the skin looking awesome. Dabbing around here just to kind of make sure there's no excess right under my eye. And yeah, I'm remembering why I love these two so much, and I can feel happy about that. And then another thing that I had in my cart powder wise, I saw Tarte had this Amazonian clay finishing powder, and it was under the new section, and I was thinking like, I thought they already made something like that in the past, but it kind of made me want to try it again. A translucent silky finishing powder keeps makeup in place and diffuses imperfections. And I really love trying powders. I feel like I run into so many that I really like, and especially with using my e.l.f. puff here, like it's kind of just brought more powders to light for me. But then I'm like, you know, Em, you've got this Derma blend and it's the little size, yeah, but it's probably like the same stuff, right? It's one of those translucent, silky, lightweight powders. And I'd just been enjoying the fact that this blurred so well and looks so flawless on the under eye and the T-zone. And it's part of that effect. I think the reason why I was attracted to that one from Tarte, and I've said this before, when you get into a certain product or a certain color scheme or whatever, you start gravitating toward that. Just out and about or on websites, you will find it. You will attract it. So I'm going to use my little e.l.f. Halo Glow, my little sponge there. I've got some powder in the cap. And I'm just going to take this powder and press it in on my under eye area. I'm going to feel really set, really even. It does mattify. I mean, that's kind of what this does. I love the way it makes my makeup last. It really does blur and just even out. Okay, now that I got the under eye, I'm going to also do the T-zone with some of this. I truly will not be buying the new one from Tarte because I just feel like this has got to be so similar, right? Okay, complexion is looking great. I am looking more mattified in those areas where I've applied this, but I know it's going to benefit my staying power today. I'm finding myself really tempted to try a lot of things from Merit. I have one of them in my cart here, the Bronze Balm Sheer Sculpting Bronzer. I did recently pick up the stick like concealer foundation. I'll probably review that at some point, but I'm kind of tempted to move on and try more things. Then I'm also kind of thinking, you know, Em, like I just went through my bronzer drawer over the weekend. I weeded some things out. I should have done it on camera, I know. But like I got rid of some powder bronzers, some just various things. One thing I really noticed is that bronzers are the most obnoxiously packed makeup product ever. Like only with bronzer will you find a disc like this big and then some that are domed up. And then you got every kind of format with the liquids and creams and all that. But that little experience just kind of revealed to me, hey Em, you got enough bronzer. You know, don't buy another bronzer. Don't bring another bronzer into this house. So seeing the description of this $30 Merit stick, which does look beautiful, but they call it a sheer buildable bronzer to add a wash of natural looking warmth and depth. I mean, what did I just get? What have I just raved on? This liquid contour from Milani, the Conceal and Perfect in the shade Ginger, you know? You think it's gonna give me a similar look? I bet it does. Again, this is not an informed dupe video. This is just me trying to not buy things. Okay, so I'm gonna apply this today. And I really like it. I like how easy it is to blend. I like how it's not too opaque. It's a very satisfying product. And then I get out, not that one, my Sephora 56 brush, the kind of jack of all trades face brush. And look at this beautiful, like little bit of bronze I'm getting, but it's just blending like nothing. It's the best. So easy, such a good shade. Buff right on over that. Sorry guys, I got into a zone there, but look at that beautiful natural contour. It is not too thick. It's not like unnatural looking. It's just in all the right places. It has that sheer quality, but it's so convincing. And I really like this stuff. I think this is the best part of these little like puff tip thingamajigs that Milani has made. But here's what I don't like. The puff is kind of like big. It needs a little dome cap because this is so tight on it and then the cap gets messy. I don't like when packaging gets messy. But the product itself is pretty darn awesome, I have to say. We've now sidestepped 4 different products in my cart. Now another thing here, the Hourglass face palettes for this holiday season, they've put out 3, which I think was smart. They've got like a really light looking tone, something for medium skin, like the elephant one, that's the one I'm really eyeing for me. And then they've got one that looks like it would be better for deeper toned skin. So that's cool to see, really neat, right? I like the theme and everything, but they do put these out every year. I may still buy this. I may still buy it just because I think it's something that my audience has always kind of been interested in seeing a review on each year. But I looked at what's in there. They'll tell you exactly what shades are in it. The elephant one has the dim light, the soft light, beaming strobe light, lustrous bronze light, iridescent coral, and radiant rose blush. So ultimately 2 finishing powders, a highlight, a bronzer, and 2 blushes. That tends to be the layout for these. And then I thought, don't I have dim light in another one? And if I look back to the Sculpture palette, this was the one that came out the year before last. This was last year's. Last year's looked like this. It was this kind of a format, so actually 5 shades instead of the 6. But there was still a finishing powder, a bronzer, and so on. But this one, the Sculpture palette, it really like made me think of the one that they're showing because we have dim light and then we have something brighter. This is actually diffused light, I believe. Yeah, this is diffused light. They're giving you soft light, but they look similar. You're getting a highlight here, a bronzer, a more corally blush, and a more rosy blush. I'm thinking, you know, Em, if you didn't review products, like there's still part of me that wants to get that Hourglass palette and kind of now really compare it closely to this one that came out the year before last. So for reviewing purposes, that one still might go through, but for your own entertainment, I'm gonna use this one today. I'll use a little bit of the powder bronzer, even though I've already got bronzer on my skin. I like Hourglass bronzers. I really think Diffused Bronze Light is one of the most foolproof bronzers to apply. This one is called Natural Bronze Light, but it's just kind of a swirled bronzer. I recall really liking this one, really being happy with this one. Okay, so we got a little bit of that on. We've perked up our skin even more. Let's go to this kind of like dusty mauve, kind of a little more rosy looking blush. See, it does give a deceptively rosy look on the cheeks. But I love that variety. You know, these 2 blushes, they are not the same, are they? It looks honestly like there's a little more distance between these shades of blush than there are in the new one. So beautiful. I'm falling back in love. There's nothing wrong with an older Hourglass palette. Like if you've got one sitting around and it's not the current release, like that's fine. It's so good. I'm gonna go to the highlighter over here. I know I love this. Look at that pretty glow. Not too much, but just right. I dig it. Super, super skin, absolutely great. And then what I might do is, let's say we grab a little of the diffused light and we pop that around the under eye area. Look how that just manages to uplift just a little bit right in here. Oh man, I remember when I was using ethereal light in that way. I need to go back to that. See, I'm having rediscoveries. I'm having reappreciation for old things I already have. Okay, and then maybe just a little gentle wash of the dim light. Dim light is the one that they're putting in this year's palette. I'm just kind of smooth over everything. Something I've loved about these palettes, they're all-in-one quality. You can just bounce around to all those shades and it's like every powder step is covered. There's a real satisfaction in that for me. And I remember having one of these when I was in the hospital, I think, about to have Bubba. And like I took one of these in my hospital bag and I felt so like I had it all together, you know, and even after coming home, these are super handy things. I don't have a brow thing that I like was putting in my cart, so I'll just go ahead and do my brows with whatever. I'll use my CoverGirl today. This is my, I think they call it Easy Breezy Brow Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. Oh gosh, Biscuits, you scared me. She says, Mama, it's bright in here. Why you need all these lights? Because the people will complain. Anyways, this is in the shade Rich Brown, skinny pencil. Did she just want to come in and see if I was in here? She just left. Normally she hangs around a little longer. She seems sleepy. Oh, I love those kittens. They have really just brightened my world in a new way. Just their energy and how, you know, I love when an evening starts to tone down and the kids have gone to bed And Bub and I are, you know, still watching Virgin River. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We're in season 4. And the way they just cuddle up, and it's just such a calm environment. But then like 9 o'clock hits and they're racing, rampaging all over the house. But I love that. I love having 2 kittens. If you're gonna get 1 kitten, please just get 2. Let them have a friend. I swear that's gotta be part of why the adjustment to our home has been so easy. I remember Cupcake being so frightened for a good several weeks to a month. You know, like it was a long time before she would warm up and like get on Bub's lap, or just spending a lot of time hiding. And I think part of that was we adopted her alone. And then I think another part of that too was, and don't take this the wrong way at all, because I am a big advocate for adopting from shelters. I was ready and waiting to do that again with, you know, my next pets. But these cats happened to come straight from a home. They couldn't keep all the kittens basically, and someone Bub knew somebody who had these kittens, and they knew we were looking for some, and you know, they'd been getting cared for in a home that also had a little kid in it too. And then they came directly here, and I think they just maybe didn't develop some of the fear that some kitties might have being in the shelter environment. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing to that, but they just adjusted really quick and easy. And this might just come down to the individual personalities of the animal. No people are exactly the same. I'm sure no animals are exactly the same, but these particular cats just never had that stress, I think, of not being in a loving home at any point in time. Like they were born into a home and then they went straight to our home. Kind of a happen-so there, but still. But really all it is just a time thing, because obviously Cupcake made herself right at home. It just took a little longer, I think, for her to warm up. And again, a lot of it might come back to the fact that she was on her own, and here we have 2 kitties. And regardless of the circumstances, I think having 2 kitties probably just puts them both more at ease, I think. So, next control freak here. I'm going to put some eyeshadow primer on, and I'm going to start telling you about the little eye thing that I wanted that I put in my cart. Pat McGrath. It's not one of her big palettes. Her big palettes I feel like I would give a lot of consideration to before I actually put it in my cart, just because, you know, they're so expensive. But the one called Mini Eyeshadow Palette Midnight Voyage, I just loved the shades in there. I love the purples, and then also the neutrals that are in there as well. It just really spoke to me. It reminds me of something from Viseart that's no longer available right now. But then I also started to think, with the concept of this video, there's probably something else I have that follows that idea. And what's interesting is once I start looking, I'm looking for purple or plum and brown. And so many palettes that have some plum, they're pairing it with taupe, more of a cool tone gray type thing. Or I got some that are putting in the more like wilder orangey warmth, right? I don't need that. I just want some good old classic brown and some purple. Well, with enough digging, I found it. My Violets palette from Profusion. This is one of their great 10 color palettes, and look, there's brown, there's some champagne, there's multiple tones of purple, you know, some purple that I think is maybe kind of on par with what might be in the Pat McGrath, and then some brighter things too. So I thought, you know, Em, save your money, maybe put your money toward the Hourglass palette and instead get your satisfaction out of eyeshadow palettes you already own. So I'm going to do a look with this today. Yay! I haven't picked this one up in a while. I'm going to use that brown. Okay, so this shade called Pressure. And these are so pigmented. You can find these palettes in Walmart if your store carries Profusion, or you can look at the Profusion website or just Walmart's website. But this one came out like when they decided to put out some kind of amped up color ones, like the Citrine palette and Rubies. They put out some more vibrant, colorful takes after they did like nudes and mattes and smoky and that type of deal. Okay, so I'm just shearing out this brown. I think it's going to be really pretty, merging in with some of the purples we add. Well, what's on the docket today? We've got some dentist appointments for the girls right after school. Anybody else kind of not like things that happen right after school? There's always that end of the school day chaos, especially with Biddy and Belle. They're both ending their days at the same time, you know, because Biddy's in full day kindergarten, and it's like they end at the same time. They got all these stories to tell and all this stuff to show you. It's like it takes some time to get through all that. I'm going to take a little bit of aubergine over here. It looks like a really true purple. I'm gonna like add a little bit of that into the crease. I'm just gonna like getting my crease ready for something here. Really going into that brown, it just looks like it's deepening things a little. I'm just using my same crease brush, by the way. Same shade, but now with a flat brush. Oh, is that a pretty purple? So pure. Such a pure and pretty, and it's near matte. Honestly, a little more vibrant than I think the Pat palette would have been. But that's okay. That's just kind of the color decision I'm making today too. You can use this palette and make less vibrant choices. Gosh, I love that shade. I love that color of purple so much. I'm going to also dip into the same shade with the small pointed brush. I'm basically going to use this shade with every brush I own. I just want it to really hit that crease, kind of come out. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then I'm really wanting to bring in some of the lilac, just a matte, really pretty lilac shade. Oh yeah, digging. It's so opaque though, it kind of like goes over the deeper shade more than I thought it would. Like it's just a really opaque lilac. I'm gonna come back over it with a little more of my pure purple because I don't want to lose it. Oh my goodness, that is a fun purple eye. I now want to gently come back to this shade called Pressure, this brown, just a little bit, and kind of like make a little bit more of that now that I see the whole look coming together. See where I'm putting it? Right up here on the outside. Yes, letting it come up. Stand to be blended a little better right here. A little bit of this shimmer called Stay, and let that kind of come in like a highlight. Okay, so again, we go into this matte. We're gonna let that have some fun. Come up a little higher. See, super pretty, super diffused, and then Stay right here. A little bit golden. Are we feeling it? Oh, then I think I want to use my Persona liner in Plum. And I want to have a smudge brush ready, just my little E21 from Sigma. I'm going to put this on the lower lash line and immediately smudge it. And you might say, well, why not use some shadow, Em? Well, I want better staying power. And shadow sticks and liners down here generally do a little better on me than a powder does. See, look, I'm just softening the heck out of that. Yes. So just getting like a little half line of the Plum Persona and then immediate smudge. These last so well. I'm going to put this on my upper lash line too. I want you to be able to see kind of what that looks like. Like this looks more, this Plum looks more brownish kind of as it goes on top of what I did there. But I just want a deeper thing, and that's what this is. You're lined on both eyes. It's purple, but it feels wearable to me. And I'm now gonna do some mascara. This is gonna be It Cosmetics Superhero. I was not shopping for a new mascara. I was not tempted by a new mascara currently. Oh, the instant gratification that is Superhero. I mean, get out of town. I literally, it could be a multiple choice question. What is that sound I just heard? My stomach? The girls, or the cats? I think it was the cats. Nope. I mean, geez Louise. I thought somebody had thrown up. Biddy was mad because Nookie wouldn't give her a Kleenex. What? I'm like, she's asleep. But she's like, she was talking to me. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. You know what a great gift would be? Like a little stocking stuffer or just a great little gift for a friend. Get them the Shiseido, the fancy little gold version of the Shiseido lash curler. It's got a little red pad on it, looks festive. And give them that and give them Superhero mascara. There's the lashes. I am so pleased with that. This tube of Superhero is at a real sweet spot for me. It's building so well. A little bit of Cali Ray come hell or high water. If you really wanted to give a deluxe gift to a friend, you also give this and specify lower lashes. Hi, kitten. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those girls either. Now's not the moment to jump on mommy. The last thing that I saw and I wanted and I put in my cart on Sephora is the Tower 28 Beach Please Lip and Cheek in the shade Office Hours. Now, I already own two of these. I really like these. I have Power Hour and Happy Hour. So I have kind of like a toasty brownish one and a brighter one. Here, that's Happy Hour. Really pretty and brightening, and that's Power Hour. And now this one, the new one, is kind of, they call it Sun-Kissed Mauve, and it's called Office Hours. Ugh. I really like the look of that, but then I thought, let's find some other lip and cheek that you have. I have this one from Flower. It's the Gel Crush Lip and Cheek in the shade Blackberry Crush. And I don't recall being like super amazed by this. I'm gonna put a little. It's not really as rich as I think I'm wanting to see on my skin. An exception may be made for this new Tower 28. Look at that. That looks pretty. That does look nice. It's really awkward to like put this on your lips though. Goodness, my lips are dry. I feel like if I got the Tower 28 one, it would be a little richer than this, but I think you got a couple ways you can probably improvise. Like, what if I were to take a little bit of Revlon lip liner and Raisin, come in a little bit, get my lips defined. See, that's pretty. That's totally fine too, and my lips feel good. I like that texture. Okay, friends, so there's my finished look. I'm super happy with especially like the way the skin looks, and I love the purple eyeshadow too. Some of my favorite things that I dove back into in this video, definitely my Kosas Revealer products. Really loved using an old Hourglass palette because honestly, once everything shears out on the skin, I mean, I'm probably sitting here with a very similar like face color scheme to what would be in the palette I'm eyeing, that elephant one. And then Profusion Violets, come on, it's giving me some purple, it's giving me some of the brown that the Pat McGrath one had. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about this look today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of video. I know it's not like the most informative because obviously like I haven't tried some of the things that I'm trying to find a semi-alternative for, but it's more about just inspiring you, like look at what you have in your collection. Remember when you're about to buy something that you probably have something else that's kind of like it, and then give yourself a chance to fall in love with it all over again. That's what it's all about. So thank you for your time, everyone. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. Thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.